Okay, so the recording has started. Again, last time, it's October 18th, weekly JupyterLab call. Welcome everyone. My name is Andrew Yeroshenko. Link to the agenda is in the chat. And let's start going through the agenda from top to bottom. So the first one is Jay on the agenda. And also Jay, is this your first time joining this call?
Yes, yeah, this is my first time.
Okay, so maybe we could spend like, I don't know, like 5 minutes quickly going around introducing ourselves, and only people who would like to participate in that, want based basis, right? So let's just quickly tell about ourselves. So my name is Andrei Yeroshenko. I work in AWS as a software development engineer in open source software team. So mostly we work on Jupyter and Jupyter Tangent things. It's all open source things. So yeah, I have my teammates also work. Jason is here. Jason is my teammate. I also have Pius and David as teammates who also occasionally visit this call. So yeah, I'm located in the Bay Area. I've been working on Jupyter for the past 2 years. So yeah, it's great to be part of the community. So Jay, you can go next if you would
Sure.
like.
Yeah. Hey everyone, my name is Jay. I am part of the data science marketing team at NVIDIA. I've been there for 3 years, where I've covered marketing for deep learning based libraries like PyTorch, TensorFlow with the NVIDIA angle. And now recently moved into the data science marketing side. So I was an aspiring data scientist, but landed this job in loving it. So we also at NVIDIA, we also have some code developers who work on scikit-learn. Not sure about Jupyter, but yeah, there are some open source contributors to NVIDIA. Yeah, great to be here.
Nice. Would someone else like to go?
I can introduce myself. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Jason Weil. I'm a teammate of Andrew's at AWS. I'm based in Seattle. Almost at 2 years working on Jupyter with the community. So yeah, good to meet you, Jay.
Nice, thank you, Jason. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves?
I can go ahead. Hey Jay, I'm Frederick. I'm working at Constack, a French-based company, and I'm mainly working on JupyterLab and JupyterLab extension. And I'm currently the JupyterLab representative to the software steering console. It's one of the Jupyter organization console in which we try to synchronize between the multiple projects we have.
Nice to meet you, Frederick.
Yes, thank you, Fred. Would someone else like to go?
Hello, I can carry on. I'm Nicolas. I'm working at Constack too, and also mostly working on JupyterLab and Jupyter extension, and based in France. Also. And that's it for me.
Nice.
Hi, Nicholas.
Hi, I'm Gabriel, and I am working at Quansight Labs, and there are a few others here in this chat as well from Quansight, and I primarily work in accessibility-related stuff.
Hey, I'm Ely. I also get involved with accessibility stuff. I work for Bloomberg on a product that is built around JupyterLab.
Hi, I'm Mike, joining from Oxford. I work with Quansight and work around some extensions LSP for developer productivity performance and core JupyterLab as well.
Nice. Thank you, Mike. If someone else would like to go, please go now. Okay, silence. So thank you, everyone. Yeah, welcome, Jay. Welcome, everyone else. Let's start to go through our agenda. You can find a link to it at the top of the chat and at the bottom of the chat as well. So Jay already announced his point about an event in the Bay Area. So Jay, I have like provided a reply underneath it. So I could do that, as I mentioned. I also gave my email. Let's connect.
Sure.
Or is there any other medium that you would prefer?
Sure, I can get back to you on email with the date. So the date is November 8th, 6 to 8 p.m. at NVIDIA headquarters.
I'll add the details to the agenda. And
okay.
Thank you. So
reach out if you want to.
If anyone else would like to do that instead, yeah, please speak up.
If you can come back and announce it in this group or through some Jupyter channel, once it's decided, we could advertise it to our networks in the Bay Area.
Sure, yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah, the meetup page is live, but we are yet to update the speaker and the title for the talk. So once we have that, I'll share the meetup link so that we can share.
Awesome, thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, so let's go to the next item if there are no more comments about this. So Frederick is the next one. Fred, you're up.
Yeah, so sorry, it's only for the members of the JupyterLab Council. It's more about maintenance. As we discussed earlier, we've changed a bit our policy and to be able to have a yearly notification for checking if people want to stay a member of the council or have extended right. I created some GitHub action and I've updated, I created a chart to update the list of the members with the subgroups that are part of. And so if you can please check that your affiliation name, I didn't make any mistake when copying things. So that would be great. And as a note, so the idea is to get the check for the membership by the end of this week. That means that after that, there is a 3 weeks period for the members to check their if they want to still be members with the right there. And so the idea is to have those 3 weeks done by mid-November or something like that, so that after that we can start the election of the software steering council representative for this group. And as I wrote in the note, a heads up, I won't run for another year because I think it's important for other people to step in and to share their ID. So yeah, that's if you already think that you want to run for it, like you have a month to decide if you want to run for it, basically. That's it.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you for your service. And I reposted the link to the PR in the chat. So council members especially, please do what Fred asks.
Yeah, thank you so much for staying on top of this. I'm sure it's been a lot of work getting all these pieces running, and I think they will serve us for a long time. So thank you.
Thanks.
Do you think it would be useful to share that with other Jupyter sub projects if they want to follow the same kind of structure, or like having this GitHub action, for example, shared or at least available somewhere?
Yeah, my idea was to try to run it at least once for us and to share it at the software steering console.
Yeah, we can be the guinea pigs for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That was the idea.
Okay, so if there are no more comments about this, let's go to the next point of the agenda, which is Mike.
Hello. So this is just a reminder that on the last meeting, we decided to set a date for JupyterLab 4.1 by November the 1st, which is in 2 weeks' time from now. So if you have any new feature that you would like to add to JupyterLab 4.1, we will review that if the pull request is open and ready for review by this date. But I think that we have already enough feature to make largish point release, and all of these features look great. So it's just the question of finishing them up and releasing a few more pre-releases, and we'll be ready to get a pretty exciting one. And one of these features that I hope could get into 4.1, but if anyone during review disagrees, it's of course fine if it goes into the next point release, is in 9 completer, and it's now ready for review. The link is in notes, and I will also share it in the chat. There is a link in the pull request to an extension which implements inline completion provider API with streaming support, but that one is a bit more complicated to set up. So for testing on Binder, currently it is only possible to test with the inline history provider, which is included by default, but I will try to work to make the Binder happy and to enable testing with the more advanced provider extensions as well. But otherwise, if you want to try it out locally, I can give instructions and help with setting it up. That's all from me.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, November 1st. Are there any comments or questions maybe about this? If not, we can go to the next point on the agenda. Jeremy, you're up.
Yep. So I have one item about what we discussed last week. Actually, I was just checking now. Yeah. So there is this sort of issue open on the governance repo about the switching away from Jupyter Matrix to something else for like instant messaging. And one news since last week is that we have now a test channel on Discourse. It's called JupyterLab. There's only one. And yeah, Discourse can also have a chat. So it's there for testing. I don't know if it's easy to find, but I put a link to the channel so you can find it more easily. And personally, I find the UI pretty nice. Pretty much the same as Slack or Discord. So it could be another option. We already have Zulip and Discord, I think, were the two main options discussed, but maybe this one could make sense because we already have the community on Discourse with a forum, and it's really something separate from the existing posts. So if you would like to try it and go there, I mean, Even if you just write test messages, it's no problem. It's just useful testing for now, so we have a better idea. That's it for me.
Thank you, Jeremy. So I can answer about like the status of the like the global move of replacing Jupyter metrics for the whole project Jupyter. So as a media strategy working group, we wanted to look at the performance of different channels in the JupyterLab sub-project first, and like see how active people would be in different channels. And we can also maybe reach out and somehow understand the usability better, concerns, or like strong points on the other hand for the usability for different channels, and kind of like verify our assumptions that we gathered in that thread. So to that end, we have like 3 channels: Jupyter, already existing channel, right? Then we have Zulip, which was like transferred to us already, and this is like a third discourse. So I would also maybe like to ask you in the community at the same time, what can we do for greater visibility of these channels, to encourage maybe a wider community of people to consider different like this chat-based communication channels that we want them to consider. So ideas that I have is that we can add it to the links that we provide when people create a new issue. Like when you click new issue in JupyterLab repo, it gives you different options, and one of them is to like go to discourse or go to Jupyter. We can add option to go to Zulip, and we can add option to go to discourse chat. Do you have any other ideas how we can like publicize this more to ensure that other channels have the same exposure as Jupyter? No. Okay, we can just do what I said and edit like the issues.
Yeah, it's a good question, because I don't know if we are at the time where we can ask the community to go to different channels, right, for asking questions. I'm wondering if that could be a bit confusing, maybe if there is a split there before there is an actual decision on which tool to use.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. I guess that that's the only way to get actual data from real people. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's why I and like work group was under assumptions that it's worth it, but it can be definitely confusing for people. Okay,
we could also maybe do a survey or something like that. What does the community want, and then just pick the ones with the most biggest number of thumbs up or something like that.
Yeah, that's definitely an option. Yeah, my like concern here is again like how do we make sure that wider community has like knowledge of this questionnaire, but with always we can't reach everyone, right? So we can publicize it maybe on our blog post or like social media, so we can think about it for sure. Okay, thank you, Jeremy. Does anyone else have like comments or points to make about this?
I just wonder whether publicizing such a questionnaire broadly would not have well, it would certainly target specific audience, and that audience wouldn't be the community of developers. It would be the community of users and potentially extension developers, and different communication channels might have different spin towards one or the other. So what I mentioned on the issue previously was that I think that is the Rust project, which uses Zulip for more technical communication and Discord for more less technical, more community building task groups. I'm not sure whether that's the correct term that they use, but that was my impression. So if you publicize a survey, you might end up prioritizing one group over the other. Whereas if we just try these things, we'll see how many of us are using it and what kind of user groups are being built around this communication channels.
Yeah, I think it's a good point that publicizing it would would change a group, like audience of people who would respond to the survey. That's a really good point. And yeah, that's a great point as well, that different tools work better with different audiences. I definitely agree with that.
I mean, not just publicizing it, Andrew, but also doing something to actively encourage people to come. Like, for example, what if we started hosting our weekly calls on the same chat medium instead of using Zoom as a separate account? You know, what if we did some sort of like developer Q&A? Like, there's always going to be some small number of people who will join every new service just for the novelty of it, but those things usually die out quickly because there's no particular reason to come back other than to post a test message. So if you really want people to adopt these things, you have to provide some active incentive for, you know, you're going to miss out on ABC unless you come here.
Yeah, for sure, but we also want to we want to see what works best for people naturally, right? We don't necessarily want to drive them to one channel or another. We want to see what works best for the community.
Okay.
Can we handle that split though if it gets spread across a lot of channels?
I mean, keep in mind, we've already got like 10 social channels, Andrew.
That's my personal concern.
Adding more, like we have to commit to actively maintaining and participating in them. Otherwise, it just becomes ever more fragmented.
Like, yeah, we don't like talk about it, and we don't necessarily, especially in the past, had this like all the different available communication channels under the Jupyter like official control or published anywhere. But yeah, there were multiple communication channels where people were or are active. So Zulip, for example, right? It already existed. Okay, I have an emergency. Okay, earthquake might be possible here. Nice.
Oh, fun.
Well, yeah, so far so good. Someone please overtake if, you know, connection breaks. But
we're being recorded, Andrew, so leave your camera on. We need video evidence. You're going to be on the news.
Yeah, but that's a good discussion. Yeah, different communication channels already exist. This process just kind of tries to organize it and formalize a list of communication channels. And within this greater process, we're trying to understand which channels organically work for the community the best. Yeah. Okay. Are there any other points or questions about the communication channels?
So I noticed that the Mastodon account on Hatchiderm is now available, and just earlier this hour, I migrated the old account that we had on Fostodon that now redirects over to the Hatchiderm one, and most of the 235 followers have come along automatically. So they now automatically follow the one on Hatchiderm. Any plans to start posting content there?
So we need to get our. So let me say this: we need to discuss this and come back to the community with the exact next steps when we're actually planning to post. I can't answer this question on the spot, but I can definitely raise this question with the media strategy work group. So I'm under impression that we need to wait until the charter is approved, but maybe it's not the case. Maybe we can just start doing it quicker. So in particular, I wanted to do a relevant announcement that while media working group charter is being approved, you can use email to reach out to the media working group and request blog posts or other social media publications. As far as I can say from the top of my head, charter should be approved like within the next 3 weeks. Yeah, I can come back with the information about when can we actually start posting for the next call, for example. Okay, great. Is there anything else to discuss here about the communication channels? It seems like not. Great. I see we can go to the additional discussions. I see that Mike has a triage of pull requests for 4.1. I think that's super reasonable thing to do. Mike, would you like the recording on or off for that?
I think usually we do triage without the recording.
Leave on the recording, right?
Without the recording.
Without the recording. Okay, yeah, we can do that for sure. Okay, so I will stop the recording shortly. If someone would like to discuss anything on the record before that, please do it now. Okay, so it seems there are no speakers, so I will stop the recording now. Please brace yourself for the sound.